What up, Jay? Making rugs. For sure. I mean, bro, I don't know, man. I don't know. I ain't never made no rug before, but shit, you gotta show me.
The high of their superpowers and Drake. This Friday.
Oh my God.
To create a better life. There was a promise in America. If you're tough
Tatum.
enough. Draymond had to hide his superpowers. He's one of the more intimidating players and top defensive guy in the league. And I'm on the Clippers. You know, I feel like I'm on a team that got a
Bro, what's your first rug? Like, what's the first thing you got in mind you gonna make?
It just looked like Clippers was kind of intimidated by you, Steph, and all of that. And so I wanted to bring a little edge to the table. And I wasn't really playing much then, so it was hard. So we go into the game, and I'm just seeing how you guard Blake. And I'm like, damn, he be hella physical, and he pushing on him. I'm like, you know, what the fuck going on, man? Hold on, Blake. Bust his ass, man. Hell no. You can't really do that because everybody know you the head of the snake. And if you go at the head of the snake, you got a shot. And I didn't want y'all to think we was intimidated, so I'm yelling, I'm whooping at you. We at the free throw line, I think. I forget who at the free throw line. And I'm whooping at you like, no, fuck that, man. Fuck him. Go at him, Blake. You better than him. Whatever. And so I'm like, all right, I'm shooting. I want everybody to know this is what we own this year. You know, damn, come on. This is the class of the league right now. And you said what you said, right? Everybody, the camera on me. So and to be honest, I didn't hear what you said. People don't know this, but the microphone underneath the basket pick up everything. And so when you're in the arena, it's hard to hear. I'm on the sideline, I'm on the bench, and it's hard to hear. So it make it look like you shot something to me. But honestly, I didn't even hear what you said until after the game. I'm looking at my Twitter like, oh damn, you know, he went back at me because I couldn't really see him on the bench. You're on the other side, but I do love your banner, and I will tell you this.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm really excited to see what you come up with.
Because even before you
I know it's gonna be something crazy.
Because I remember we came in here to Boston and you was talking shit to KG, and I'm like, bro, who is this dude right here? Like really looking at him. Y'all ain't won yet, but you was already you had that. You remember that we came to go to state? You was talking shit to KG, and I'm like, who is this little nigga right here? Who was? I was like, damn. And so it all makes sense now. Like, you always been like that. You know, some people, they start winning or they get some money and they turn into something else. You know what I'm talking about. But you came in true to yourself, and I appreciate that, man. And, you know, I love what you've been doing to the game. And I just
what you been on, though, bro?
Between me and you, it ain't never been no beef. Good banner. I respect your game and what you brought to the game, man.
I appreciate that. I definitely remember that. Because I remember coming in, you know how KG will stand next to you. I've actually told you the story before. KG will stand next to you, and he will call you every B in the book.
Yeah.
He will call you every 304 in the book. He gonna call you soft, all of that, and he's just gonna stand at the free throw line next to you and say all of these things about you. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, first of all, this nigga's crazy. I'm just standing there listening to him like, who is he talking to, man? Like, cause he come back down the court and talking to you, and you know he talking to you. And I'm like, all right, we go back down the court. Another foul happened. We at the free throw line. Like, yeah, this little nigga can't fuck with me. Little soft ass. You know, and I'm just sitting there like, hey, yo, I ain't gonna be no more. I ain't gonna be too many more of your soft. Hey, you ain't gonna keep talking to me like that. And he like, yeah, whatever, little nigga. I ain't getting into that with you today. I'm like, nah, you gonna get into it with me today. You keep talking to me like that.
I remember that.
But that's just, you know, it's funny because I've just always been taught by my mom, by my neighborhood, like the foot that you start off on,
yeah,
that's where it's going. You know, so like Coach Izzo, when I first got to campus, and I won't say that what he called me publicly, but when I first got to campus, my first text to Coach Izzo, he called me a very specific name, and I went crazy. And I'm like, right now, mind you, I'm a fat, pudgy freshman. Like, When I said fat and pudgy, I was real fat and pudgy. And I'm not like the highest recruit. Like we got 2 recruits of my 3-person class. I'm the lowest recruit. And he caught, and I lost it. And I start like cussing him out, like don't ever call me that. And he never called me that again. But it was
whack.
He only never called me that again because I stopped it. Then.
Which
You know
one?
what I'm saying? Absolutely. And so
Hold on, man. I'm screaming.
So when that happened with KG, you know, for me, you growing up, you know, and especially for me, I'm growing up and watching KG in particular with his emotion. You know what I'm saying? And how he wears emotions on his sleeve, and he loud and he communicate. So I felt like I could relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I play with my emotions on my sleeve. Like I'm gonna
Don't use all of it.
I don't want no aphrodisiac.
Don't use all of it.
Freak.
Don't use. Don't use all of
I'm
it.
like, oh man, that's dope. But then you come into the league, and now it's like I can't really be that fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta come in and stand on business, or they gonna treat you like that fan.
Damn,
So when I came in and I noticed him doing it, I'm like, hold on, man. Like this KG, but you can't just sit and talk to me like that, bro.
Right.
You know? But even getting into the moment that you just got into, I had no idea the microphone picked that up either. Like I got to my phone and I was so upset. I was so upset because, you know, at that time, and you had just came into the rivalry, right? Like you know, it's us, the Clippers. Who's the next young team out? You know what I'm saying? And we had just one, but you know, it's still kind of right there. Like Doc had.
Ooh.
Like, because such
Goddamn, such play to me.
And so it's still kind of right, fresh in those moments. And I'm like, you know, at that time, Blake, LaMarcus Aldridge, like, there was the dogs at the Z-Bo. There was the dogs at the 4th spot. You know what I'm saying? Z-Bo, my big bro, Spark Dog. And so for me, when I see these dudes, I just want to kill them. Like y'all saying, these is the dudes at the 4. I want to kill these dudes. And so you had just came in. Me and Blake had already had our thing for a few years leading up to this. And you like, cook him, Blake. He too little. And that triggered for me. I hate when people say he too little because the reality is I probably really am too little. And so it's kind of one of those pet peeves of like don't fucking tell me I'm too
God.
little. Too little, man. Cook him, Blake. And because you're yelling that, I jump on a Blake Griffin pump fake. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, why are you jumping on a Blake Griffin pump fake? Like, if Blake Griffin want to shoot a 19-footer, by all means, you let Blake Griffin shoot it. I done jumped on the pump fake, I fouled, and you just over there talking. So now I'm even more mad. Like, this dude just made me jump on the Blake Griffin pump fake. He talking. He don't know how much I really don't like Blake in this instance because he in my way. Like, I'm trying to be, I want to be an all-star. So I'm like, he in my way. And then
Oh, it goes good, Aurora. If you're still in here.
I got a million text messages.
My bad. I'm not ignoring you, dog. I'm not looking at the camera 24/7.
Crazy, like, and I see that, I'm like, oh, they picked that up.
Right.
Oh, and that was a crazy moment. Like
I still get that on my Twitter feed every single day. So like I'm like, damn. So I just wanted to address that. But like I always enjoy, you know, a little banner here and there. If I'd have heard that, I probably would have snapped something back. But you know, it's all good. It's always love. You know, you're a competitive person just like myself. I wish we could have saw each other when I was in my prime, but you know, you do your thing, dog. And I appreciate that because in the passion, you could have played in any era. Because I feel like today, the passion ain't the same. You know, I think...
This nigga got long ass arms, or I'm about to fuck these proportions. Either or, I don't know what's about to happen.
It just feels like I don't see that passion no more. Yeah, you playing hard, but someone playing hard, you see it only in a certain few people. Like, I named this before. It's like you... Giannis, Westbrook, Pat Beverly, and you know, maybe a few more, but just like that, just you let it out, you don't hold it in, and I appreciate, you know, still seeing that while it's still in the game.
Absolutely, no, I appreciate it. We're gonna talk more about that, but before we get into all that, I wanna take me back. You born in Oakland and then moved to Inglewood, California. Take me back to that journey. It's very interesting to me. Obviously, I became who I've become in Oakland. You know, Oakland is dear to my heart. And so I'm very interested in just hearing that story.
Yeah,
and then I live in LA now. So both of those places mean a lot to me.
Yeah, so I grew up in Oakland. I got 2 older brothers who played Division I. Single parent, lived with my mom. Never knew my dad, but my mom moved around from Chicago. But once my brothers got old enough to college, about 9 years old, and I moved to LA, to the east side of LA. Right, we just went from one hood to the next. Mom was a survivor. She was a nurse, just trying to get food on the table, man.
Damn. Okay.
Shout out to my mom. I lost my mom last year, but she taught me so many life lessons, and she did everything she could. She left everything that meant, and so I'm saying that. So we moved to LA, stayed a year in LA, then moved to Inglewood, and you like, damn, we moving a lot. We ain't really got no stable place. What people don't know, when I was in 7th or 8th grade, my brother got drafted to play Major League Baseball. He got drafted 10th pick to play the San Francisco Giants. Steve Hosey, he never really stuck in the big leagues, but he made like a signing bonus. I think he made like $50,000 at the time, or $75,000, and that was enough to get us out of apartments and got us a cool house in Inglewood, to where it was a little safer environment. But I think moving to Inglewood really molded me. Growing up around gangs and drugs and prostitution, and going to an inner city school is not easy when you got to catch the bus, and it kind of shaped me. When your environment shapes you who you are, you can make a decision. Do you want to go one way or the other? And so that's why people see me on the basketball court and off the court. It's 2 different people, and I'm sure you can relate to this. It's like we carry so many different personalities. Like, this is who I am right here, and because of my upbringing. So people think I was unapproachable, or I was just mad and all of that. But in reality, I love my family. I love people. I'm nice. I'm social, and all of that. But it's definitely a journey, to get to where we want to go. And you can see it in certain players. They come from something that was difficult, and you can see it in their play. And I see that in you. Allen Iverson. You see it in KG. You see it when these guys, playing with that type of emotion.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I always say, like, I am the way I am. I play the way I play because that's how I grew up playing in Saginaw. That's how I had to be. Like, if you were going to get on the court, you had to be that way. If you weren't that way, you was getting ran out the court quick.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Same way. Same way, man. Growing up in the parks, you better stand on your foul, or you're going to get beat up or ran out the park. It don't come back. It don't come back. So you always got to stand on that.
But talk to me about, like, moving around LA, because that's a little dangerous. LA is very, like, this side, this it can get to streets. Like, that street is this gang, this street is that gang. You go over, a little bit over the way is now Bloods. You go a little bit that way, it's Crips. Like, talk to me about navigating that, being new to LA and then Inglewood, and kind of having to navigate that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Ain't no way.
So check this out. Oakland, you've been out in Oakland all these years, but the talk in Oakland is a little different. Like, if they say Blood, like, what's up, Blood, in Oakland, right? Yeah. So I grew up saying, and Blood was like, what's up, my boy? So I moved to LA, and I moved in a Crip neighborhood. So my first thing is my friends, I'm like, yeah, Blood. They like, hey, you can't say that over here. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, and I had like some red shoestrings, and I was like, you can't wear that on here. And I was just matching my shoes. So basketball culture and game culture, especially when you start becoming good, it kind of go hand in hand. And when you live in these type of neighborhoods. And so I had to learn that when I first got there. Like, then I moved to Inglewood, so now I know what's up. Inglewood is mostly predominantly Blood. But that's a good thing you asked, Dre, and with the people the story ain't told enough, is how game culture and basketball culture kind of go hand in hand, especially in the hood. So when you start becoming good, you grow up in certain neighborhoods, they look out for you now. They look out for you now. So now, like, when you see guys in the NBA do certain signs, they might not be gangbangers, but they might be tied to them because they grew up around. And so that's how it was for me. They get you some shoes. They make sure you go to the park. Ain't nobody messing with you. You got a future. They looking now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the story in all itself. just being around them and like, man, this is what I grew up around. This is where I live. And they like, look, you don't need to get involved with all this smoking and drinking on the corner, doing what we do, but we're gonna make sure if any of us can make it out the hood, it's gonna be you. So we're gonna look out for you. So, and I'm thankful for the guys that looked out for me growing up, not knowing that I could be in certain places, telling me where not to go, or making sure I didn't show up here. And that's definitely a difficult thing to navigate, and I always say you definitely got to surround yourself around the right people. And I didn't find myself hanging with them, but I lived in the neighborhood. And so I think it's important to really surround yourself around people who are going to have positive influence on you, but also you got to keep a distance on what to do and what not to do. Because then we make it to the NBA, Dre, and you still have some of these ties, but you got to, like, grow up at some point. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I may be referencing to guys that I play in the league with today. Maybe some things happen with Ja. I don't know the complete story with that. But maybe that has something to do with, your surroundings and the people you're around. So the one message I will say is just be able to navigate that. If you got a bright future, if you think you can make yourself, get yourself out the hood and make a
What's up, Asia?
Yourself, and you need to do that.
How you been?
And I always,
If you still
I
in
agree
here.
with you 100% because, guys in my neighborhood, if I went the wrong way, they like, nah, or you come over there, you like, yo, I want to shoot dice, or,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, you come, you go, you reach for the J, they like, man, I slap the shit out of you. If you don't like,
Right.
you not doing this, you gotta be you gotta make it. Like,
Right.
you gotta be the one to make it out of here.
There we go.
You're not doing
Okay,
this. And the sense of, I won't even necessarily say protection, but just like them looking out, like the way the guys in the hood looked out for you, it is actually total opposite of what people outside of the hood think. People outside of the hood think you grow up in the hood and it's the guys in the hood pulling you in. Like, hey man, we want to draw you in. And it's actually the total opposite. The guys in the hood like, yo, don't do this. Like, I'm already over here doing this. This ain't it, bro. Like, it may look cool.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, I got respect. Like, I got this, I little clout. But this ain't the clout and respect you want. Like, get away from over here. And so that's one thing I've always respected, like from, the OGs in the hood that I grew up in, the OGs from
What's up, Ariana?
hoods you grew up in, and different OGs around, like, they like, nah, bro, this ain't it. Like, you go that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a story that needs to be told more. And I think there's a story and all that. And I've been talking to people about that though. Straight up.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You then leave Inglewood. You go to Kansas. You win 3 Big 12 Players of the Year, and in 3 years of playing at Kansas, which is unheard of. People don't do that. Talk to me about why did you stay so long? Like, you knew you were dominating. You Big 12 Player of the Year as a freshman.
I'm drawing Jayson Tatum right now, but man, I ain't gonna lie.
End up staying at Kansas
These proportions.
going to the NBA even earlier.
Yeah,
I'm getting cooked.
I could have left my sophomore year, but now I wasn't ready.
How you been, though?
I told myself I wasn't ready, just mentally and physically, because I came in as a young freshman. I stepped on campus at 17 and played 3 years, left at 20. But I wasn't ready, Dre, to be honest, because 95, KG left straight to the league. That's the first time that ever happened. We left McDonald's. Everybody like, what college you going to? All the top players. KG was the only one that didn't commit. So I went to the league. So everybody was like, damn, you can do that? So I'm like, oh, okay. So then the next year, I'm a freshman. Next thing you know, Stephon Marbury and Shuba Abdul-Rahim was 1 and out. So that was the first year of guys going 1 and out in college. So KG started the high school, and then the 1 and out
Thank
started.
you.
So I think my class was responsible for a
Good
lot
to
of
hear,
that,
good to hear.
moving forward.
I'm really trying to start streaming again, live stream again. Man, I've been BSing.
KG really kicked the door in for that. And then after that, but the norm, Dre, was 3 years and out. That was the norm. In the 90s, 80s, you matured, you played 3 years, and after your third year, that was leaving early.
Lord.
And since Steph and Sharif and KG did that, nobody was, that was like taking the leap early. Until now, everybody freshmen, sophomores, high school players, until they cut that from the NBA. So, but that was the culture. Leaving early was the third year. you did 3 and then you left early, so that's why I stayed.
Okay, all right. Cause I've looked at that a million times. Like, yo, he destroying everybody. Why did he stay here? Like, I stayed four. I had to stay 4 years. Like, I had no choice.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now,
It
actually.
was the first year they started drafting for potential. Before you got drafted on if you was ready or not, because before that,
Now what I've been doing is actually, I got an app, and it puts a grid over that shit, so that I'm sitting on unproportionate no more. That was really becoming a problem.
KG come in, they start drafting on potential.
Okay, no, that's.
So that's a little history lesson right there.
I appreciate that because I was tripping on that. But then you go to the Celtics, and you balling, but from a team standpoint, it don't start off great. I mean, y'all,
we garbage.
Like, Celtics tradition. All the championships, the Birds, Robert Parrish, Bill Russell, the list goes on and on. How is it dealing with that? Because Boston ain't the nicest town. Like these fans, they ain't just like, oh, we cool, we happy to have you.
Nah, they might boo you.
They expect the titles.
Yeah, they might boo you, man. It was rough coming in there early, and I remember I got drafted 10, and I remember taking the ball out as a rookie.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Damn. It's like one of my first few games. Like, damn. You gotta have thick skin to play in certain organizations, or you'll get ran out by not the fans or the media. But luckily, I came in like, look.
Logan cool. She was just in here earlier. You missed her.
I'm gonna make my mark right away.
She came in here trolling.
And I was able to establish a friendship with Twan. And it was
but yeah, everybody's been good so far.
I came from Inglewood where we won. I came to Kansas. We won a lot of games. And to get on a team to where it's like no playoffs, under 500, going home early was like culture shock. It was not only a culture shock moving from LA to Boston, culture shock just basketball wise. And then you understand, you looking at Bill Russell, you like red arm back, you put your head down. But I know we young and we gotta learn, and you take your growing pains. But it's a part of the game. It's some situations is different than others' minds. We had our growing pains, but I feel like it worked out in the long run.
And there's another side of that most people won't even think about. But going from LA to Boston, you grew up a Laker fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate Boston.
Yeah.
I hate Boston. Everybody know that. Well documented. I think even today, Boston is one of the more hated franchises in all of the world. I mean, not maybe in America, because you got the brand is good outside, but like in America, Boston's always been like one of them black hat teams. And I don't know why I hated them. And even when I played, people hated me. I mean, I got booed in a lot of arenas.
What the fuck?
And I don't know, it's just something about the black hat, the Boston Celtic franchise wears.
Yes, man. What up, Woody?
And a storied franchise, maybe people looked at that. And, when they compare with the Lakers, people are going to choose the Lakers over Boston any day. Because that's the comparable when you talk about a great franchise. And so I learned to get comfortable wearing a black hat. I learned to get comfortable. I learned to just understand, like, look, if this is going to be what it is, then I'm going to accept that. But it's not going to move me or shake me either way. And it's something I have to live with. And that's been my identity. And I'm fine with that.
No doubt. I respect that. And during your time there, you then established yourself as one of the better wings in the league, making all NBA, All-Stars over and over again, earning the nickname The Truth. Then y'all reach a point where it's not going great. Doc's essentially about to be on his way out. About to get fired.
They was calling for him.
Right. Doc's about to be on his way out. And from what I've heard, you're possibly going to get out of there soon too, just for your own career.
Yeah.
Y'all, you then find out that y'all about to get Ray Allen, y'all about to get KG. What was your thoughts? Were you worried about sacrificing shots because for so long now you've been here, you've been the man, you do what you want to do, or was that for you like, this is my chance to win and become a Boston Celtics legend, how did you accept that as that starts to happen?
Man, it was just like, I wanted to say, all I ever wanted to do was win in Boston, man. And I was just like, all I ever wanted to dream was just a shot. Just a shot. You know, I'm envious of all these other great wing players. I'm watching Cole win it all. I'm watching guys like Manu Ginobili win it all. Guys in my position, having success in the playoffs. And I just said, man, I'm looking at these other players play with other great players. I got a chance to play with Antoine Walker. We went to the Eastern Conference Finals and we traded. We this close. So I'm like, damn, we running backwards. All I ever want is a shot. As a competitor, that's all you ever want. Just give me a shot with another great player and let me see if we can pull something off. And so when that happened, dog, Ray came and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not getting traded. I'm in this for the long run. Then we get KG. That's all I asked for. All the years, during the good years, the bad years, just give me a shot. You know what I'm saying? You got D-Wade, get to play with Bron and Shaq and all these other great players, get the team up. Because you can't win by yourself in this league. You need another great. We all know. And I don't care how great you are, you need another great player. And that's all I asked for. So once I got them, even though we only won one title, we was hurt the next year. And then the following year, we went back to the finals, played the Lakers again in 2010. We were 12 minutes away with the lead. I'm happy I got a shot. I could have won 2. If KG don't get hurt, we was on pace to win 70 games the next year. And so I'm just thankful that I even got a shot later in my career, because if we had got together when we was young, boy, we would have looked like y'all Warriors, man. I'm telling you. We would have looked like y'all. We was together at 26, 27. Problem.
Yes, sir.
Man, let me ask you though. No, do you feel like we started that the super team thing?
For sure.
For sure.
100%.
So we was the influence on Bron and then KD and all of that, and everybody coming together.
Well, yeah. I think also a thing that it did was it allowed you to see that it was possible. So we had like before that, we didn't know this was possible. Like, all of a sudden, it's now you, Ray Allen, and KG. Like,
right.
This, no one ever even thought of these things before. Like, how is this even possible? And so I think that opened up the world of possibilities. Now you're like, okay, I can do this now. We can put this together now. And so I think when that happened, everybody's just like, okay, now you can put these pieces into place because I've seen it happen. You know what I'm saying? And I think another thing, see, everybody always talk about you, Ray, and KG, which, by the way, should be talked about. But nobody ever talked about y'all had a great young point guard in Rondo.
Boy.
Like, how important was Rondo to what y'all was doing?
Man, Rondo was so big to everything because he was the youngest. And they wasn't sure at first if Rondo could be the point guard with us. Because he was only in like his second or third year. He was in his second year. So it was a lot of talks about maybe trading Rondo. But we need an older point guard. I was like, nah, I saw his rookie year. I was like, this dude gonna be nice. He showed me flashes in his rookie year. And I was like, he actually the perfect guard for us because he's a pass-first guard.
Yeah.
So I was rocking with him. He was picking up full court. He played deep, and he always made the right decisions. The IQ was off the charts. And see, that's the thing about Rondo. More than his skill, his IQ, and you saw that. And just that pass first point guard was mature for his age. That was the perfect storm for us.
Yeah. As far as demeanor, like you're an alpha. KG's an alpha. I don't know Ray that well, but
I would say he like more of a sniper.
Quiet, I'll get you, but I'm gonna go under the radar with mine a little bit more.
Yeah, but he's a sniper.
But how did a young Rondo handle that? Because Rondo is Rondo tough as shit. And
he's alpha. He's a 100% alpha.
How did he adjust to that, where he's an alpha and he's the point guard running the show, But like you got these OGs in here.
Mm-hmm.
Like how was that adjustment for Rondo?
You know what Rondo did was probably the best thing he did. You know, as a young player, when you come in, and I always say this to young players, you know, find a bench that you can cut them up under. You know, that can show you, get a good bet, though, that you can cut him up under, listen to what he got to say, and he going to show you the way. First thing he did, he went to Ticket University. He checked into Ticket University, got up under his wing. That's where he started developing that mentality. He went right to Ticket. Ticket took him under his wing every day, and Rondo here. Every day in the locker room, on the court. And that's why you see he had it in him, but it just started growing. And it was hard on him because as a scorer, as a guy with the ball, you know, I'm on him. Like, you know, bring it this way. But he was so smart. And the point guard is the hardest position when you got to distribute to guys who need the ball. But he handled it good, though. He went under Ticket, developed the mentality. Even though it was nice, me and him might argue. He stood on his business, and I'm like, all right, I respect it. You saw something different. All right, cool. And we moved on from it. And it was just the perfect for him to just be under that. And now as Rondo grew, and you saw his mentality, he quiet too, but don't push his button. Don't push his button, you know. So he alpha too, though. But we had a lot of them, though. Perk, Leon Poe, Eddie House, Posey, Big Baby. I mean, if we got into a team fight, I'm not sure anybody wanted to see it's all we had so many big dogs. Tony Allen, damn, I forgot about TA. Damn. Damn. But like, yeah, that was the funnest time. We all kicked it. We all went out together. We all ate together. We just did everything together, you know, so it made it fun. And you know, I appreciate them dudes and Rondo and all them.
No doubt. And speaking of appreciation, y'all win the finals, hurt the next season, go back to the finals. Ray then joins the Miami Heat. I want to hear your side of that story. Like, talk to me about that. I need to hear your side to Ray doing that.
Man, so, you know, Ray came in as we a brotherhood. Our families hang out with each other. His kids, my kids, we go to his house for, you know, Halloween parties and Super Bowl and vice versa. So when it hit that we just lost to Miami, by the way. And I'm like, all right, you know, we just need to regroup, get a couple more young dudes. And we're going to re-sign Ray. We're going to stay aligned up our contracts and finish this thing out together. And by the way, I hope bring Clay back. Y'all need to finish together. You know, I hope that's an example of how we went. And y'all don't do that. You know, give him what he wants, you know, right? And I think, you know, I didn't know he had issues with the contract or starting. But the thing is, I wanted you to holler, like, if you don't leave us, like, give me a call, like, look, it ain't working out. You know, they're not going to give me the contract I want. They're not giving me the role I want, so I'm going to go this route. Okay, man, I respect that. You make a business decision for you and your family. But when you never get that call, you leave and go to the team, pretty much this is our rival. We playing these cats to see who going to the finals the next few years. Like, come on, man. I just didn't feel like there was a respect thing there. And I don't run into Ray after that until retirement. So I don't talk to him. He don't talk to me. You know, even when we play each other, there's no words really. And I felt a certain kind of way about that. So I had a chance to I was playing this exhibition game in China. In retirement.
What's up, Ray?
My first year retired. And I didn't even know Ray was going to be there. So next thing you know, he's like, oh, by the way, Ray's here in the locker room next to you. And I'm like, all right, you know, but let me go holler at him. So I went over there like, look, I told him how I felt about the situation. He was like, man, you know, after I broke it down to him like that, he was like, you're right. I should have did it different. After that, I was like, it's all good. We spoke on it. We shook. And there's been love, and it's been love since then.
So why at the 75th did you and KG do that whole Ray walk fast? Because I didn't know it was love now.
Wait, when?
Y'all was like laughing. You at 75th anniversary, you and KG was laughing when Ray walked through. And I thought it was still some beef.
Nah,
I was going to ask you.
Oh, hell
okay,
no.
So y'all good now?
Yeah, we good now. Yeah, we good. It wasn't no beef by the time because the 75 was last year. We was good before that. Because remember, if you notice, when KG got his jersey retired, we all hugged at Half-Court, which was like a couple years ago. And so, yeah, he was like, shout out to Ray. Plus, tickets, I was good for a ticket, wasn't good until his retirement. You don't even know, we didn't know Ray was coming to his retirement. That was the big thing surrounding KG retirement. When he was getting his jersey retired, we like, is Ray coming? You know, you think Ray gonna show up? Nobody had the idea. I didn't. So when he showed up, I think that was a sign, like, you know what, it's time to squash that. KG Rondo, let's bring it in. And I think from that point, we all squashed it. I already had squashed mine with him. But that KG jersey retired, man, I think it was just like, all right, they spoke. It was cool. Now everybody good now.
I love that, man, because, you know, you go through these, like, and like you said, y'all won one, but it's hard winning a championship. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, people don't understand how hard it is, how many things have to go right.
Yeah.
You gotta be really good, but you
Yeah,
also
lucky.
have to be really lucky.
Yeah.
You gotta be really lucky. Like,
Really lucky.
you
I
start
tell
talking
people
about
that all
health.
the time.
You don't win championships without luck. I'm sorry.
Without luck at all. People don't
You
know
look
that
at
part
the
of
amount
it.
of you look at the amount of teams that you thought was going to win a championship. They were unlucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, Houston, they got y'all. They got y'all. Chris Paul full of hamstring. Like, hey, I'm telling you, you need it in every championship. Toronto beat y'all because they got lucky. KD got hurt.
Exactly.
No, I
They
see
clicked
it every year. And yeah, I see it every year, bro. You gotta be lucky in all of this, and that's the part. That's the part people don't get. No matter how good, you gotta be lucky.
We playing against Houston. They missed 27 threes in a row. This is what they do. They shoot threes.
They've never done that.
They missed 27 threes in a row. You have to be a little lucky.
Right.
It's just the reality. It's just the reality.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy,
But in saying that, and I mentioned it earlier, you know, Doc was kind of on his way out. Then y'all, Ray come in, KG come in. Y'all get it rolling. Y'all get Doc his first and only championship. Hasn't quite been able to get over the hump since. Now, as we all know, Doc is now with the Milwaukee Bucks, trying to, number one, salvage their season. But number two, go on to win the championship. They made the trade for Dame. They obviously got Giannis, Chris Middleton, Jay Crowder, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, Pat Bev now. What do you think Doc brings to that team, and can he help them get over the hump to win a championship this season or next?
I will tell you one thing. Doc is a great motivator, man. I'm telling you. He knows each individual, how to coach each individual. You know, he coaches them all different. You know, he's not gonna coach Giannis how he coach Bobby Portis. And old school coaches, they gonna coach one way. It's their way or the highway. And that's one thing that Doc has been great at, because he's been a player. He understands, you know, what they need and when they need it. And I think he's the right guy to help them get over the hump, actually. You know, your players got to respect your coach. I think they respect Doc. You know, I'm not sure how much they respect Adrian Griffin or why they get him out of it. Doc is going to come with some respect. Yeah, he hasn't won as many as people probably thought he should, but he's been there. And they're going to respect that. And so, in saying that, I think he's going to bring in some leadership and another voice. Because, like, when you look at Milwaukee, you're like, who's the, like, vocal leader? I really don't know. I'm not in the locker room. Maybe it's Giannis, maybe it's Dame. But Doc is going to be another vocal leader in the locker room, and he's going to tell you like it is. And I respect that. Like, whether you like it or not, he's going to keep the truth to you. So hopefully, you know, he can get them far, but I don't think they're going to beat the Celtics in the East. You know, it's bad timing right now. But he got a championship. It's bad time, but I think he got a championship caliber team. And I think they're going to see the Celtics in the conference finals.
I respect that. that. Man, it's the year 2000, and you get stabbed 11 times. Number one, how do you still manage to play 82 games? It's beyond me. And I know you've talked about this story before, but, like, What's something from that story that people don't know? And like I said, I also want to know, how did you manage to play 82 games?
I don't know, right? I don't even know how I'm alive, truthfully, when I look back at it. You know, I think God, you know, I'm a true believer in God. You know, I think, you know, he knows when your time is, and it wasn't my time. And I think the only thing, let me tell you something, Dre, when people don't know, but I haven't spoke on, I talked about the incident and being in the club and you know, being stabbed by like multiple men and 3 different knives. And what people don't know, I played because I played through pain. But that was the only thing that being on the court was the only thing that gave me peace. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm traumatized. I'm in my house. I'm scared. But at the same time, I'm paranoid. I can't sleep. Like, I have to wear like a vest. And this is what people don't know. I have to wear a vest underneath my uniform. So like a lot of times if I take a charge or I go into the paint, I felt that. It wasn't all the way healed. And I had to just mentally play through that because I know I wanted to be on the court because that's the only peace I got from not thinking about what happened. But for that 3 hours, that 3-4 hours, that gave me peace.
Everyone said it would take years to earn a respected MBA. With WGU, I can graduate in as little as 12 months. Learn more and get started at wgu.edu.
When you go through a whole day, when you can't sleep at night, and you sitting around, not leaving the house, not going nowhere, you know, wondering if there's really somebody out here trying to kill you, you know, that's not a good mental to be in, you know. So, but for that 3-4 hours I'm in the gym, I'm gonna be on the court. So I disobeyed doctor's orders. I practiced before I was supposed to practice. I wore this like damn near bulletproof vest or whatever kind of vest that they got for me. And I just played through it until I healed. And I really didn't heal until after the season.
That's crazy. And how did you manage to stay in Boston another 10 years after that? Like how long did it take you to start leaving again, to go out again, to live a normal life again in the city where you just got stabbed up by with 3-4 dudes?
Yeah.
Like how were you able to get back to some sense of normalcy in that city?
You know, it took a while, but I surrounded myself with some family and friends because immediately I moved out. 2 of my cousins who are the same age as me, 2 of my best friends who I grew up with, and I moved into Boston with me. So I had family around me at all times. You know, people watching out for me. I kept it family and I kept it close. But it took some years, man. It took some years. Even going to the restaurant, dude, I had security. I'm over here, like, seeing who know my car. I got them standing outside, one inside. And it took some years for me to really start to get back to normal because it got to the point I get real anxious when I got in the crowd. You know, I couldn't do the season tickets holder stuff with the crowd of people, appearances I wasn't doing. So, but the thing that helped me the most was when I started talking about it to other people. You know, because I held it in for a few years, but then I started talking to more people about it, and it helped me get comfortable with like just letting it free, letting it out, loosening up. And that's the biggest thing that helped me because at first I had a psychiatrist or psychologist, whoever you talk to after, and I had 2 sessions with him, and I was like, man, I don't want to talk about this no more. And from that point in, I held it in. But I think talking to people and surrounding myself with love really helped me get through those times. And, you know, I appreciate the people I was close to and the people I was able to talk to about it. And, it was difficult when I used the game of basketball to rededicate myself. And I think, you know, for me to take that next step to where I got to, something like that maybe had to happen. Maybe God was sending a message to where, like, look, you need to refocus, get back in the gym. And I really think from that point on, it elevated my game from that point on.
Yeah, I mean, some traumatic like that, it does 1 or 2 things to people. It sends you this way,
yeah, absolutely,
or it sends you that way. And
absolutely.
You're very sure which way that guy went.
Yeah,
it's
either
drastic
way. Hell yeah, it can go either way, man. But I was raised by a strong mom, taught me always to just be strong and you're going to get through whatever situation you really going to get through. And so that's just the clump I was built on. And that's why I was able to get through it.
No doubt, man. And switching gears a little bit, not really, but in the same light of you playing 82 games that year. You played 80-plus games 7 times in your career. What is your perspective on this current debate? Load management, guys resting, the 65-game award. You know, you got to play 65 games in order to be All-NBA, MVP, all those things. How do you view that as someone who played 80-plus games 7 times?
I mean, I really don't see the science at the load management because it don't prevent injuries. I played 80-plus games. I played 17-plus seasons without any major injuries. I was lucky. But there's no science to, like, if you rest, you're going to be less likely to get injured. And so I just say this. If you love the game, ain't nobody telling me I can't play tonight. That's just me. And I see that with just only certain people in the league, you know. And then I never seen Bron don't sit down. Like, I done seen Bron come into the guard. I'm talking about he rolled his ankle like this. And I'm looking like, oh yeah, he for sure done for the night. 2 minutes later, he come back out there, catch a lob, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like today, kids roll their ankle, I get it out, or you know, I play with a dislocated thumb, but it's just different now. I don't know what it is. I think it has a lot to do with the people around in the organization, the medical staff or these doctors here. They convince us, like, no, this is the right thing to do. And we created more jobs for these people to come into the NBA. And so they got a job to do. And when you got all this big medical team, the medical team wasn't like that when I was in the league. Right now, you got more physical therapists in the back room where it was only like 1 or 2. You got a one that can treat every player. And then you got ones that's like, look, you know, no long run, you know, not only this year, but your career, but no science is proving that you're not going to get hurt ever when we do this. So I'm not with it, but it's the way of the NBA. And I like the 65-game rule, actually, you know, because if a guy plays 60 games, how is he better than this guy who plays 72 games and his team is doing well? You know, give it to the guy who's been out there the whole time. You know, these awards. And so, I just think that's the way it should be, man. You know, hold these players accountable. Yeah, if you pressing yourself to play 65 and you got an injury, that's on you. Don't be pressed to make all NBA. Don't be pressed to do all this stuff. Get yourself right first, and then play. You know, if guys is playing hurt, that's on them.
Yeah, no doubt. I respect that. You speaking of Bron, you've made a few comments about Bron. You said you made him join the Heat. You said that he wasn't a top 5 player in the NBA. A lot of people has called your takes on Bron as you hate. Where do you stand? Like, do you still think Bron ain't a top 5 player in NBA history?
First of all, I'm gonna clear that up. I did say that, but it was based on when they was playing the Portland Trail Blazers in the bubble. And I think Portland went up 2-0, or they won the first one, or maybe they didn't even start the series. But I was like, all right, they got AD, they got this. And I was like, if they lose to the Blazers in the playoffs first round, I don't want to hear about Bron being top 5 because I felt like they had a championship team, which they went on to win the championship in the bubble that year. And so do I think Bron is a top 5 player? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, I went on record saying this. After they won that chip, I said, Bron has cemented himself as the number 2 to me player of all time now. Little did I know he was going to go for 40,000. Little did I know he was going to break all these other records. This is like 4 years ago. Bron is in that GOAT argument to where you could just say he might be the GOAT. You know, and his longevity, the records he's had. I mean, yeah, we like whatever era he played in, whatever, but Bron has a serious argument. And I will say this about Bron. I wouldn't be who I am today without Bron. And I will say that. For the simple fact that I got to match up with him for the simple fact that I get to have these epic games against him. I wouldn't be who I am without him. So I'm taking my hat up to him in retirement. Did I ever hate Bron? I never hated Bron. I always respected him. It's just that me, in the heat of the battle on the court, I'm no friend, bro. That's just who I was. Listen, you do what your team over there, I'm gonna do with my team, and I ain't no love. And they always came like I was a Bron hater, but no, I appreciate what he done to this game. He's reset the bar, the standard now, and he's pushed the bar so high now that I don't know if in our lifetime there's going to be anybody close to him. And I respect what he's done for the game, not only on the court, but off the court. So I'm happy that I come on your platform and let everybody know this. Yeah, I've said some things about Bron, but look, Real recognized Real at the end of the day, and he's just been unbelievable, and we appreciate that.
No doubt. No, I respect that. Another one that went crazy, and I asked this question more so not even about that moment, but just kind of your take, because number one, like I said to start, you don't get a nickname, The Truth, without being one of them ones. Like that's no debate. Like Big Ticket, The Truth, The Glove, like you King James. Like you don't get those nicknames if you're not one of them ones. And so I say you Flash, like Shaq Diesel. You look at the nicknames guys got, like you got to be one of them dudes. And if you're not one of them dudes, you don't get nicknames. It's just
you know what? That's not true. Like this era, where's the nicknames?
Joker.
The nickname, okay, Joker. I mean, like
Steph don't really have a nickname. He got a couple of things people try to throw out there.
Curry, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Babyface Assassin, we've heard the Steph nicknames.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's true.
I feel like this era don't, like, what are the nicknames? Like, and they going away, I think.
That's true. But you had to be one of them ones then to get one.
Absolutely.
In saying that, you and I can agree. You've spoken about being underrated in NBA history for what you've done, the things that you accomplished. You also said you were better than Dwayne Wade. Where should you be rated as far as what? Talking about great two guards, like where would you put yourself in that?
It's tough, man. And the thing about Wade, and I will say this, Wade is one of the greatest players. I love watching him when I didn't play. But in all of this, I never brought Wade's name up without it being brought to me.
That's true.
I never came out and be like, that's what it's hate. That's what I feel like when it ain't brought to you and you just bring it up, I feel like that's hate. But I was like, I'm gonna tell you this. That's who made me who I am. Because I felt like every time I stepped on the court, I was the best player. Like, whether it was Cole, Bron, I felt for like one night I could be the best player that night. And for me having that mentality, that's what made me who I am. So I said it on national TV, and I don't have the accolades Wade had. He played on better teams, but I'm not trying to discredit Wade. Wade is an all-time great. In my eyes, he's probably 3, 4 best two guards of all time.
Yeah.
And so, some stuff on TV, but I feel like I'm right there. I'm right there. Like, it might be like, I'm right. Like, some of these other guys, like, Cole, Bron, I think, Wayne, I'm right there.
I respect that. I 100% respect that. And
make the all-electric Cadillac Lyric all yours. A stylish SUV that takes luxury beyond thrilling all the way to electric. Experience yours today at Cadillac.com/lyric.
So, and saying that, like, you're right there. Do you think, I don't know the full story of you being let go at ESPN. I know what I've heard. I know what I think.
It wasn't what you saw.
Yeah, what I saw. But do you think those things like that thing, for instance, and then being let go from ESPN and so on and so forth. Do you think those things in retirement kind of hindered your game a little bit as a player? Like, the way people view you as a player, how great you were. Because one thing I do know is, and even my journey, when you give people one little thing to latch on, they try to latch on that and minimize everything else that you've done. Do you think those things hurt you in the sense of who you or how people speak about Paul Pierce, the basketball player, because they intertwine the poker thing, Instagram Live, and a few things that you said when you were on ESPN? Do you think that hindered your name as a hooper?
I think it's hindered my name amongst the young generation, but real hoopers know, and people of my generation know. And so you're going to get little comments of like, he wasn't shit, he didn't play, but whatever. Well, that's not true. You go to YouTube, you can attack my character, you can attack me as a person, but don't tell me I wasn't shit on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? So I can live with that. And as a person who's always wore the black hat, I'm fine with that, Dre. I lived a great life. I've traveled the world because of basketball. I got 4 beautiful kids. And if I'm going to hang on to what other people say about me and how they hinder my name, oh well, you know what? I'm still living my life. I'm still living the dream. And I can give a damn what these people say or think. Period.
Yeah, I respect that, man, because I've kind of seen that in a different sense. Like, people attack my character as a man because of how I play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Even with, like, the stuff that I just went through, you know, a couple months ago or whatnot.
Right.
It's like, that was one of the things that kind of had me like, man, I don't really know if I want to do this no more. Like, y'all talking about, like, I got kids, you know what I'm saying? My kids will go on YouTube.
They're going to see that shit.
You know, my kids go to school. They got friends who are Warriors fan. And y'all attacking my character as a man. My kids got to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because one thing I know is you can feel how you want to feel about me as a basketball player. You can say I suck. It's probably not true, but that's how you feel. Say what you want. You can say I rode Steph coattail. Cool. Say all of those things.
Right.
But when you start talking about the man that I am, you know, like, man, because of something I did in the lines of battle, like in between these lines, that to me kind of like that took me down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, man. Like, I'm not this guy y'all saying I am. That's say that about the basketball player. Because like you just said, I actually did a story with Howard Beck when we was just at the Guard a few days ago, and you said earlier, I'm not the same person. Like, when I'm playing and me the person, that's 2 different people. Funny enough, I was doing this story with Howard Beck, and he was, you know, we're talking about the things that's happened, where I am today, how I'm playing, and blah, blah. Mentioned some Ron Artest stuff in there. And I was talking to him, and I kept, like, flipping back to these 2 people, like talking to him in the mind of like me in basketball, and then talking to him like in my normal mind. And I told him literally as we're doing the interview, I said, Howard, I'm trusting you to not make me look as stupid as I sound right now, because I may sound like I'm totally out of my mind right now. I keep telling you like, well, this guy who's the basketball player thinks this, and this guy who's not the basketball player goes X, Y, and Z. And so I really, like, I can sympathize with that, you know, and understand that from a different point of view, because I've gone through that, you know what I'm saying? And like, obviously I still get the opportunity to play, and when you get the opportunity to play, I always say you get an opportunity to right the ship, because winning cures all, playing well cures all, but when you're not playing, people don't kind of give you that same grace no more, you know, they want to, it's almost like, okay, I couldn't shit on you when you were playing because you was the truth. But now here's my chance to shit on you because you're not playing no more. And now all you going to, like, okay, so they're going to listen to your word, well, then people look at it like, well, it's my word against yours, you know?
Right. Let me ask you this, though. Like, all right, I'm going off right here. How many years are you in right now?
I mean, you're 12.
How many years do you think you want to play?
2, 3 more.
All right, in your last year, are you going to announce this is your last year?
Nah.
Oh, you don't want no farewell tour?
I can't, because somebody gonna do me like I said to you, and then I'm fucked.
I'm coming to them games, and I'm gonna yell the same thing you yelled to me. Please announce your last year. It's not
the only chance my last year is announced that I'm having the last year. If that last year happens to coincide with Steph's last year,
yeah,
Clay's last year, and if that's my last year, that's the only chance that it gets announced.
Steph gonna play for another 5 years,
though. Tell on his farewell tour and act like it's mine.
And by the way, I never asked for a farewell tour, and my farewell tour was in Boston. Because I know that's the only place they appreciate me, so that's why I gave away. That was my farewell tour. Everywhere else, I got booed.
That's funny. No, I get that. I get booed all the time, man. I get it. Hey, but before we get out of here, 2 more things. Number 1, I just want to let you know. Yeah, I call game. That's one of my favorite interviews of all time. Like, because you can tell in that moment, and you tell me if I'm lying, but in that moment, when I'm watching you talk, you like for real? I call game. What do you mean I call bank? I call game. Like, in that moment right there, that just came off the top of the dome.
Right off the top of the dome. Cause I'm like Chris Broussard over here, like I ain't hit no game winners before. Like I looked at him, I was about to be like, nigga, like he looked at it come out my mouth. And so I was just like, called gay, and I walked off. That was the end of it. I was like, he wanted to ask me another question. If you look at it, I walked up on like, man, get out of here. I want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that. Come on, man.
That was epic. That's one of my favorite interviews.
That was the time.
2 more questions. You and KG, y'all always y'all talk about and shout out to y'all. Unplug, All the Smoke Productions. Y'all, I love y'all doing y'all thing over there.
Mm-hmm.
Watch a lot of the stuff. Super dope what y'all got going. And I also think it's super dope to see you and KG's bond. Like, you know, even on times during that show, it looked like y'all looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's super dope, because we go through these runs and people don't understand, man. Through these runs, you can sometimes feel resentment. You're around each other every day. Like, you're around each other every day. You see the good in people, you see the bad in people, you see their rough day, you see their great day, you see the drastic difference in between the two. Stuff come up. And to see that bond, you know, and what I've been able to build with Steph and Clay, like, to see that bond still like that, man, that's special. You know what I'm saying?
But you
number 1.
You gonna understand that because you won with this group. Now, a lot of groups have bonds and they split these teams. They don't have a forever bond. When you won, you know that bond is forever. You know what I'm saying? So not everybody gets to experience that. You know, you be friends in the league, and the league is over with, or y'all go to another team, you don't have to talk to nobody. You don't even talk to your teammate. But when you win, that shit is forever. But for the simple fact, we live by each other. Our kids is going to the same school. So we always gonna have that.
No, that's special. But y'all talk a lot about the NBA and how different it is in the league. What's the biggest difference to you in the league today than when y'all played?
I mean, obviously, the obvious off the top is just the defense, the physicality of the game. You know, they don't allow as much holding and bumping and stuff, and they allow a lot of player movement. That's why you see the scoring is up not only individual-wise, but team-wise. I mean, you talk about, I think when I was in the league, the team that led the league in scoring was like 103, 104 points. Now you get the team's average on average is 115, 120 to the leaders. Just the physicality. It's like players can't play defense no more. You can't use your hand as much, bump as much, and it's allowing the offensive player to always have the advantage. And for the fact that players are getting more skilled. players at all positions can handle the ball, can shoot the ball extremely well, more athletic. But that's just how the game evolves. It evolves every decade, every generation evolves, and it's good to see, man. I actually enjoy it. I didn't like the All-Star game. I wish it was a little more competitive, but on the overall, I think the game is in a good place. The European players are really stepping up, showing they got what it takes, but I think the game is in a good place. I'm not sure we'll ever see another dynasty again. The way the player movement is, before, you have so much loyalty to one franchise, and you guys will probably be the last to stay with one franchise forever. But with the player movement, it'll be hard to see another dynasty, which is great. I think it's great because you'll have some newness to it every year. You ain't gonna have a team just overly dominated. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I like to see kind of like some dynasty. I like the enjoy y'all run, and I think still can have another run. Still are dangerous in the playoffs, and so that's the biggest difference I see.
Most definitely. You just mentioned the All-Star game. I remember watching All-Star games that you was in. How can we get that back? I lied to you. I said too much.
But I think it's part of the top, right? I think it kind of come from LeBron and KD, because I remember Bron and Kobe like, look, we got to get this in a huddle. And then you look over Kobe, he picking up full court. You're like, oh, he's serious. So now everybody else like, oh, we can't be bullshit now. Come on now. Kobe ain't playing. Hey, let's go, man. Let's get this money. I think it comes from the guys at the top. And so if they come in there and you got Bron and Steph like and KD and Giannis like, let's play, let's go. Maybe y'all, for 3 quarters but fourth quarter you knew it was gonna be on. and I at least want to see that.
Absolutely. And last but not least, man, I can't help but notice these retired numbers behind and your number.
Yeah.
And just being a part of you get your jerseys retired with the Boston Celtics. That ain't no small feat. That's not a small feat.
No.
Your number being retired up there amongst those other greats, man. Just talk to me about that feeling, the day when it happened, but also, every time you walk in that gym, those greats, being one of those greats. Just talk to me about that.
I'm happy that all the hard work and the dedication I put to this game, and the hours, the blood, sweat, and tears I was able to put in, that people didn't really get to see. They just saw the finished product on the court. That's what that is. When nights when I'm waking up at 3, 4 in the morning and going for a run or going to the gym, that's what turned into that. Just sacrifice from not being around friends and family on special days, Christmases, holidays and birthdays where you don't get to see people that you love, is because of my grind and being in the league. And that's the stuff that people don't see, the sacrifices that we make as athletes, and dealing with this person need money, or your best friend just got shot, or I just lost my close homie. They don't understand, it's more than what you see on the court. For you to still keep your mind in the same frame to really still keep going, whereas days you really want to stop, but you keep going, and that's what that equals. Being able to walk into the garden and my number be there forever. Now that I was able to leave my legacy and left my mark, not only with the Celtics, but the game of basketball. And so, being around Havlicek when he was there, when he was alive, rest in peace, Bill Russell, and just doing it in front of him, it was just, I wanted to be as great as I could and push myself to the limit. And, that's a product of me getting my jersey retired, which I'm heavily thankful for, because I gave the game my life. And for that, I missed out on a lot of things in life. So, Dre, when you retire, there's more to life than hoops, man. Travel the world, enjoy your family, man. So much more for us to see, man. And I'm enjoying retirement.
That's incredible to hear. That means a lot, because it's the inevitable for all of us, right? Like, we all gonna one day be out of this league, and to hear, we always hear the shit stories. You know what I'm saying? You always hear like, hey man, it ain't great over here. Like enjoy that way. And like, yeah, we want to enjoy it, but I actually am one. Like I look forward to retiring. You know what I'm saying? Like I appreciate the NBA. The NBA has allowed me to live an incredible life, to provide a great life for my family. But I'm excited for what's on the other side. You know, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like this. To your point, this job. Like, if there's a wedding, you miss it. If there's a childbirth, you could possibly miss it. If there's a birthday, you miss it. You know what I'm saying? If there's a school assembly, you miss it. If there's a fellas trip in the month of March, you miss it. You know what I'm saying? If they're like, you miss so much.
And first steps. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, damn.
Absolutely.
You know,
So I don't take it for granted, man. And I appreciate you hearing you say that. I appreciate you coming on the show. It means a lot. Says a lot about you.
I'm glad I got to share my side of the story finally.
Absolutely. And I'm happy you let out with it. Before we go, Jackson, turn the video on. I just want y'all to see Jackson fan out. You know, this Celtic shit they got going on. All our listeners know Jackson is a huge Celtics fan. So this is a moment for Jackson. And Jackson, have your moment. Go ahead and fucking fan out, goddamn Celtics.
Shit. Hell no. Ain't no games on today? Like, what's up?
It's everything you wish for. Your site traffic is skyrocketing until this happens. Be careful what you wish for.
I want you to imagine for a moment you're walking through your local supermarket and you're trying to find lemons. When you do find it, you pick one up and you look around, you're trying to find a knife and a cutting board to slice through. Luckily, you find one. It's right next to the lemon. So you take one lemon out, you put it on the chopping board, and you slice it lengthways. You cut the lemon once, and then you cut it once more to make a lemon wedge. Like what's on the side of your Coca-Cola and shit like that. Yeah. You hold that lemon wedge to your eyes. Inspect the bright yellow object. Just look at it. Look at the little, pockets of soury goodness. And before you close your eyes, sink your teeth.
What is this nigga talking about, man? Come on, bro. What the fuck?
Did you know that watching a self-help video probably won't change your life, but applying the suggested techniques most likely will? Today we are going to go over 5 things you can start doing that will immediately transform your life. If you enjoy, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're interested in a free anxiety relief meditation, there is one waiting for you down below in my comment section. Let's get started. The first thing you must do if you wish to immediately transform your life is put an end to all complaining. This type of activity drains 99.9% of your finite energy. The simple act of complaining is rooted in negativity and lack, which sends out a signal to the universe that you want more of what you're complaining about. You may think that issue regarding your spouse or your boss is so dire to discuss, but I promise you that it's not worth the countless problems you will attract in the process. The next thing you must do is begin the habit of seeking out the positive qualities in both yourself and others. As discussed in number 1, humans have a habit of identifying the negatives, but why not alter that thinking and radically shift what you attract as well? Due to your reticular activating system, whatever you are looking for is what you will find. As you search for what you like in both yourself and others, the universe will provide you more and more evidence to support your findings. The third thing you can do is either read or watch something of informative value. Feed your mind with content that will expand your awareness and therefore consciousness. Remember, knowledge is power, and luckily for you, it's often free. We live in a world where information has never been more accessible, however, many people engage in futile matters. That's not you though, right? By permeating your mind with wisdom from those who have come before you, you'll be more than 10 steps ahead of your peers who often wish to achieve the same that you desire for yourself. The fourth thing you must do if you wish to immediately transform your life is start utilizing a subliminal hypnosis as you fall asleep at night. This is one of the easiest ways to reprogram your subconscious mind, which is responsible for over 95% of who you become both personally and professionally. It's reported that we think up to 60,000 thoughts per day, and 98% of them are identical to yesterday's thoughts. Why? Because they're simply part of a program. Through hypnosis, you can engineer the exact programs you want to insert to unlock your full potential. Lastly, the fifth thing you can do is face your fears. Have you ever heard the saying, everything you've ever wanted is sitting on the other side of fear? The life you so deeply desire is often blocked by false evidence appearing real. If every day you chose to face your fears head on, there are no limits to what you can create for yourself. On the other side of your greatest fears lives your greatest life. So, those are 5 things that will immediately transform your life for the better. However, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's not about what you know, but how you apply it. If you're ready to do the work, comment "I'm ready" down below. In addition, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one to help you reach that next level, I'm more than happy to do so through either my 3-week or 6-week program. Information.
Angel Soft toilet paper is strong.
Let's remember that Paul George has 3 options. One is to re-sign with the Clippers. He can opt in his contract and get traded by this weekend.
Hopefully, this offseason we find a way to get better and, add some pieces. And,
The Clippers are playing an incredibly risky game with Paul George. And the craziest part is there's a chance they win. But at what cost? Paul George is without a doubt the crown jewel of this year's free agency class. He's a player whose skill set can be literally used on each and every team in the NBA. He's the prototype at the shooting guard / small forward position, and the Clippers are not budging with their offer. So before we get to the content, we are on the grind to 1 million subscribers. Make sure you subscribe and turn on our notifications to help us get there. And now that we get all that out of the way,
get that nigga his contract. Or you leave that bitch.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? As a Los Angeles Laker fan, I like to remind Clipper fans that they really didn't have much of a choice but to trade for Paul George in 2019. I know it's a tough pill to swallow. Kawhi Leonard is fresh off of winning a championship. He's trying to decide between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers. He tells Steve Ballmer and the Clippers that if the Clippers trade their entire future for Paul George, then he will sign with the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers didn't have a true star since the Lob City Clippers featuring Blake Griffin and Paul George a few years prior, and Steve Ballmer desperately wanted 2 new stars. Acquiring Paul George and Kawhi Leonard without a doubt makes the Clippers the team to beat in the Western Conference. So the Clippers did what they were supposed to do in this particular instance. They traded Danilo Gallinari, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 5 first-round draft picks, and 2 first-round pick swaps for Paul George. Doc Rivers even tried to warn Kawhi Leonard that he thinks Shai's going to be pretty good one day, but Kawhi Leonard picked Paul George. And immediately, the Clippers became favorites in the West. So how did the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard era go? Well, in year 1, they were the favorites to come out of the West. Especially when you have 2 of the best two-way players in the entire NBA on your roster, there's no question about it. But the Clippers would make it all the way to the Western Conference semifinals, getting a 3-1 series lead versus the Denver Nuggets. 1 game away from facing off against the Los Angeles Lakers in the Battle of Los Angeles at a neutral site in the Western Conference Finals. You know, as a Laker fan, how badly we wanted this? And right when they were this close to getting in, they choked, blowing a 3-1 series lead to the Denver Nuggets. The very next year, they would make it to the Western Conference Finals, but Kawhi Leonard would get hurt, and the Clippers would lose to the Suns. The very next year, Kawhi Leonard would be injured, and the Clippers would just make it as an 8th seed. They would make it to the play-in tournament, but wouldn't make it to the playoffs. But we at least got Patrick Beverley, famous meme-worthy celebration as a member of the Timberwolves, vanquishing his old Los Angeles Clippers team. The very next year, both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard would suffer from injuries in the first round of the playoffs, and the Clippers would lose 4-1 to the Phoenix Suns. And this past year, Los Angeles Clippers went all in once again, trading for James Harden. And unfortunately, by the time they made it to the playoffs, they weren't at full strength once again. Kawhi Leonard would get injured, and the Clippers would lose in the first round once again. Now you have Paul George in this weird situation. He's entering free agency, and he never really had the opportunity to play with this team at full strength in the playoffs throughout his entire career. But regardless, the Los Angeles Clippers decided to pay Kawhi Leonard a 3-year, $152 million max extension, but they're expecting Paul George to take a pay cut to remain with this team. And the number one question is, why would Paul George do that? You're playing in Los Angeles, California, so you're pretty much taking a discount to play here to begin with, because there's a 12.5% state income tax. But on top of that, the West is incredibly deep. The OKC Thunder, which was the rebuilding team that you gave up all your assets for, finished with a better record than you, and they're only going to get better this next year. They already traded for Alex Caruso, and we made a separate video on that. Denver Nuggets just need to fix up their bench depth. Who would have thought that Bruce Brown and Jeff Green would have made such a huge difference for them in the playoffs? That's a pretty easy fix. The Minnesota Timberwolves have done what they needed to do so far in order to make sure that they can remain competitive this next year. And that's retained their general manager, Tim Connolly. The Mavericks made it to the NBA Finals. Phoenix Suns are a big three, just like the Los Angeles Clippers are. The Los Angeles Lakers, I think they're a dumpster fire. I like my Lakers, but I think they're a dumpster fire. The Pelicans are looking to make improvements. The Rockets could swing a trade for Paul George. The Spurs have Victor Wembanyama.
Dude, if we get fucking Paul George
this past year. But you can go to the Eastern Conference, where the New York Knicks, who are interested in Paul George, were the number 2 seed this past year, and the Philadelphia 76ers, who are always coming up in the Paul George discussion, might be interested as well. I mean, just look at Joel Embiid attempting to recruit Paul George.
What does that have you thinking about as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers? I can't stand them. I can't stand them. I hate Boston. Great city, great fans. Obviously they got some great players, but he hurts me a lot. So hopefully, this offseason we find a way to get better. Add some fixes and
Can I ask, how the is this not tampering? I mean, look at what Paul George had to say about Joel Embiid before this.
Stop him. He's too big. He's agile. He can shoot. He can step out from the three-point line. He's just a big body. He's our generation and our version of Shaq. There's nobody we can put on Shaq.
Right.
Bro, there's nobody you can put on Joel. You put a big on him, he's going to go around.
Go
you put
right
a small
by.
on him, he's going to punish it. He plays the big spot how big is
He
supposed
got
to play.
a nice step back.
He got it all. He doing the Euro. Like, what big man got the Euro down?
He's funny, too.
And he's funny. Yeah.
No
What's up, Diz?
should ever eat processed food for every single meal of their life. Good, real.
Yeah, he did it.
I'm a big fan of Joel, man. We got a good relationship. Every All-Star, we chop it up. We got to get the big fella. We need a bigger seat.
I personally thought this was hilarious because everybody's been linking the
They need to get that nigga on though. Shit, get that nigga on the podcast.
Shut that down. Meaning the Philadelphia 76ers' interest in pursuing Paul George has significantly waned in recent days, and the franchise is expected to be aggressive elsewhere with its salary cap flexibility and draft capital leading into next week's NBA draft. Now, why would they say this? Well, maybe they were worried about the Philadelphia 76ers getting hit with some tampering. Maybe Shams was doing a quick favor for the 76ers, or maybe there's a much more attractive situation for Paul George. You see, the Clippers could have easily signed Paul George to a contract extension up until this point. They could have maxed him out, and isn't that the norm? Every time you have 2 star players on your roster that are worthy of maximum contracts, you max them without any question. But in the case of Paul George, he really only has 2 options. He can either take the discounted offer that the Los Angeles Clippers are giving him, or he can opt in and try to force a trade elsewhere, or of course, once free agency starts, he could just sign with the team off the bat. But what team would have the cap space to completely max out Paul George? The unfortunate reality of Paul George's situation is the fact that there's a brand new CBA. So you can't just assume that these players are going to get maximum contracts right away once they hit free agency, because there's now a brand new apron. So before there was a first apron where you can't exceed $178.7 million. If you exceed this, then you're not allowed to acquire a player in a sign and trade or use trade exceptions. You're not allowed to take more